Good morning, everyone. And although we're 1 minute past 12 now, so I can actually say good afternoon, everyone. I'm Emma Challans, your Director of Culture and Improvement, and welcome to today's team brief, where I've got a flurry of guests joining us today. So we're really fortunate from that perspective, and we've got lots of key things to cover and share with you all. So first of all, thank you for tuning in, and also another thank you really for everyone who has been working tirelessly over the bank holiday weekend. We know that it's often a busy time for providers and delivering safe health and care services. So thank you for colleagues that have been actively working across all of our sites and also within our community the last number of days. So a big shout out and thank you to you all. Like I said, we're joined by a number of guests today. We've got Ali Pearson, who's joining us. Ali is our Equality, Diversity and Inclusion lead, and Ali is going to be sharing a little more insight into our EDI ambassadors in the organisation. I'm sure that's going to get many of you curious around what does an ambassador mean. So Ali will be sharing that with us. I'm also fortunate to be joined by a number of the nursing and leadership teams. So we've got Shantell Miles, who is our Director of Nursing and also Deputy Chief Nurse. And we've got Trevor Hammond, our Head of Nursing over the Surgery Division, and Diane Wray, who's one of our Quality Governance Facilitators. So we've got quite a few things to cover this afternoon with you all and to share with you all. So I'll go into those briefly in a moment. So let me give you some key updates from us as an organisation. So I've just mentioned Shantell. So we're really fortunate and would like to celebrate and welcome Shantell Miles into a new role as Director of Nursing and Deputy Chief Nurse, and you'll hear and see Shantell shortly. Also a big warm welcome for Candice Smith, who's another member of our senior leadership nursing team. Candice joins us next week, Monday the 5th of September. And Candice is taking up the role of our Trust Director of Nursing for Quality, Governance and Safety. So really open arms and welcome to Candice, and thank you for choosing us as well. So I'm sure you'll all give Shantell and Candice a very warm welcome. Now, some of you may be aware that there has been some recent news lately with regards changes to COVID testing. So we've been notified by the government around some changes and some plans. So what we're doing is we're taking time to review those potential changes or any key updates and seeing what that means for us as an organisation. However, what I do want to stress at this point in time, that for us as it stands, nothing changes. And there'll be no alterations to us wearing masks across any of our sites and delivering our services. And as soon as we review any latest guidance and decisions moving forward, we'll communicate that to everyone across the organisation. So I just wanted to update you with regard, you may have seen some recent government news. We are reviewing that and we will communicate across the whole of the trust with regards any potential changes. So that's just to update you on that. I would then also like to share with you, and we shared a little bit a couple of weeks ago with regards our Step into September challenge. So as an organisation, we seem to love a challenge and thrive on it, which is great, but we also are very supportive and also centred around people's health and well-being. So Step into September is about actually capturing all of the steps that you do day in, day out, at work and outside of work. Now, I know from speaking with many colleagues, I was talking to a porter only last week who shared with me his number of steps that he'd achieved, and it was only lunchtime. And I think he was already over 20,000 steps, which is phenomenal. So Step into September is all about recording the steps that we individually do each day. And again, that's at work and outside of work. And it is a divisional challenge. So we'll all be going on there and logging our steps and confirming which division we are part of. And as always, we have some prizes and we have the overall winning cup. So this is really just about trying to encourage everyone to get involved, try and have a bit of fun, and also recognise and appreciate the amount of steps that we all do each day. And some of us will have devices where we're recording that and then we can also take some averages as well. But this is about bringing us and keeping us connected and engaged with each other. So step into September, which goes live on the 1st of September, and there'll be information and flyers all about as normal, and the QR code that you can scan to log your steps each day. So please all do get involved in that, and let's get some team spirit, team SFH, and also the divisions participating. And thank you for everyone who has put that challenge together as well. And we've done it based on your feedback. You told us, let's count steps, because there's a phenomenal amount. And I'm sure Craig will also give us around the world steps that we'll all be doing, and a weekly update on September's challenge. So those are just some key updates I wanted to share with everyone. If I may, I'm going to invite our first guest for this afternoon's team brief, and that is Pearson, Alison, who you all know very well. And Ali's going to share with us a little bit more around EDI ambassadors. So Ali, over to you, if I can, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Emma. Afternoon, everybody. I nearly said morning then. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you've all had a good bank holiday. Those of you that are working, thank you as always for working through the bank holidays. So EDI ambassadors, this is new, it's very exciting for me. So I'm on staff brief today really to ask for expressions of interest for the EDI ambassador role that we'll be launching this week in Sherwood. So first of all, I must say, please look out for the information pack that will be in the bulletin on Thursday. So we've got lots of information for you in consideration of this role. So our EDI ambassadors, Equality, Diversity and Inclusion ambassadors, will be a voluntary role within the trust. So it's in addition to the day job. And we're looking for people to volunteer to do this role for around 4 hours a month is the time commitment. It may be that some months when there are big events and lots of awareness raising to do and planning for events, we might need a little bit more than 4 hours, and then other months we might need a little bit less. But that's the kind of overall expectation is 4 hours a month. And that can be taken during works time. So we have the same support for EDI ambassadors as we do for our staff network members and our chairs and vice chairs of staff networks. So what is an ambassador all about? What will this role entail? So we know from our staff survey results and other workforce data that some colleagues in Sherwood don't have the most positive of experiences, and we're wanting to ensure that everybody has a good experience working at Sherwood. In the last month, I'm sure you'll have seen plenty from me in the bulletin, and I was on staff brief a couple of weeks ago about our staff networks. So our staff networks are working at looking through staff survey results, looking at other mandatory reports that we're required to produce to see how we can do things better at Sherwood. And thank you to everybody that's emailed in and asked to be a part of a network. I'm working through the different email inboxes today, so you will hear from me if you've sent an email. So in addition to our staff network members who are able to signpost and offer support, we're looking for EDI ambassadors who will support the EDI agenda in its entirety, and also looking at how we can shape the EDI agenda moving forward. So I hope you will all know that in the last 18 months there's been very much a focus on race equality in the organisation, and also the anti-racism campaign. But now we need to look at the next step of that, because we know there are other staff groups who are suffering at the hands of our patients and their family members, or indeed sadly their colleagues, because they are different in some way. So the EDI ambassadors will be there to support me in what I'm doing and making sure that information is being shared broadly across the organisation. And also attending network meetings and seeing what we can do, what actions we can take to improve the work experience for everybody in Sherwood Forest hospitals. So that's the ask, and I would say that if you're committed to supporting the delivery of outstanding care, believe that everyone should be safe and happy at work and are passionate about people and doing the right thing, then this could be a really interesting addition to your role. I've been running some ally training, so I did the first allyship in Sherwood session last week for 12 colleagues, which was really good, and I'm very grateful to those colleagues for joining. And part of the ambassador role will be to do allyship training, so if you've already attended it or are planning to attend it over the next 4 weeks, the session details were in the bulletin on Thursday, then you'll be well set in terms of the start of the ambassador journey. But there will be additional training available as well, and it would be particularly interesting for me to receive applications from people who have a supervisory role or a line manager role within a team. So anyone can apply to be an ambassador, but I'm particularly keen to hear from people who have that line management role, so that we can really ensure that the communication about the EDI agenda is happening for all teams and departments within the trust. So that's a very quick overview. I'm happy to take any questions. As always, if you want to email me for more information, please do. And I shall stop talking, and hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview. And please get in touch if you would like to be an EDI ambassador. We need you. I need you.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you for sharing a little bit more insight into our request, really, an invitation, and a very opening invitation as well for our EDI ambassadors. I have 1 or 2 questions, if I may, to put to you, to ask, just curiosity, which may be helpful for other colleagues as well. If you're a member of one of our staff networks, can you also be an ambassador?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And is there an actual application form that people can get hold of, or is it first of all to contact you, Ali?
So there is an application form, so it's an expression of interest, and it will form part of a pack that will be going out on Thursday. So thank you for asking, Emma. So we have in the pack, there is an overview of EDI ambassadors and why we're launching them in the organisation. I've just got the pack on screen. There's some pointers about the role. So what does it entail and what would I be doing as an EDI ambassador? And then there's a frequently asked questions section. And then signing up is easy. There's a commitments statement. So we do ask everyone who wishes to be an ambassador to read that statement, and it's around time availability in regards to the role. And we also ask for the person's line manager to also sign that commitment. That can be done electronically, so we're not making it too difficult, I hope. And then the final page of the pack is the expression of interest form. So that's where we take details of people who are interested, and then the completed commitment form and expression of interest form just get returned to me on email. And then once we've got a number that we can work with in terms of a team of ambassadors in the trust, we'll start doing some training and introducing more about who our EDI ambassadors are, why they've chosen to be an ambassador. So it's a case of watch this space, but the initial information pack and expression of interest will be available in the bulletin on Thursday.
Thank you. Thanks, Ali. And yeah, so that would be great for colleagues to have a bit more further insight into what does it mean to be an ambassador, and what time might I have to commit to that, or could I commit to it? So that's going out this Thursday then, Ali, in the bulletin. That's great.
Thank you.
And for anyone, if you look in also the chat function, we've put Ali's email address in there as well. So if you do want a further conversation with Ali about our EDI ambassadors, and you're considering it, or want more information to share with your teams, and to encourage people to get involved, then please do get in touch with Ali. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you for sharing. And we may get some more questions come through. So if we do, we'll keep an eye out, and then we'll put them to you if that's all right. Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so now I'd like to bring my other 3 guests. So we have, like I said, we've got a flurry of guests this morning. So I'd like to invite Diane, Wray, Trevor, Hammond, and also Shantell Miles to share with us and give us more insight into where we're at with Pathways to Excellence, which I'm sure is something very familiar in areas across the organisation and across all of our sites. So I'm going to hand over to the team and they can decide who goes first, but I'm sure they'll all have a voice this afternoon. Over to yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. And hello, everyone. I hope you don't mind if I jump in first, team.
You go ahead, Trevor.
Thank you so much. So it seems we're asking a lot of you all today, because actually we're here as a group. There's 3 of us here to ask, so we're going to do it really nicely. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about Pathway to Excellence. So I thought it would be really important if I just framed what Pathway to Excellence is. And it's an accreditation of hospitals, and it's so closely aligned to what we have been working through and the journey that SFH has taken, that we decided as a trust to apply for it. It is provided by the American Nursing Credentialing Centre, and only a handful of trusts outside of the States have actually managed to attain the accreditations. So it's got quite a lot of kudos with it. There's recognition, but it is really aligned to what we want for our staff. This is about providing an environment that's really good to work in. The crux of it is making it better through 6 pillars, which I'll share with you briefly now. So those pillars are shared decision making, as we believe that individuals should be able to network, collaborate, and come up with ideas about working in their own environment. The second is about leadership, which is support, really where we support that shared decision making by implementing shared governance. And I know a number of people have actually joined shared governance councils, and I think we've now got 7 within the trust. And it really emphasises the leadership development driving our accountability and succession planning. Then we've got safety at the core of everything that we do, prioritising both our patient safety and our staff safety, creating a culture that people want to work in. And then really focusing on individuals' well-being, which I think was where it ties in really nicely, Emma, with the steps for September, about creating both physical and mental well-being for our staff. And then the final pillar really is about professional development. That means that all of our teams are competent to provide care that provides them with the ability to give a really high quality of care. And central to everything is the quality of what we deliver. It's person-centered, it's evidence-based, and it's about improving the care for our health population. Where are we so far? So we've submitted a whole lot of evidence that has been, in essence, marked. We've been given the tick to move to the next stage, and we are now, Di, how far are we away? Is it 7 days?
Yep, we start on the 6th of September.
So on the 6th of September, we head to arguably the most important part of this, and this is what you think. This is your opinions, and that's what we're here to ask today, that we are going to ask every registered nurse and midwife to complete a survey. And in a minute, Di, who's one of the Chief Nurse Fellows, is going to explain how we're going to support you in doing this, trying to free up a little bit of time, because there are some targets that we have to achieve to actually get this accreditation. And the first is the volume of people who are willing to say and put their input. So that's really one of our big asks from you today, is please take that 20-25 minutes to actually sit down and complete this survey, because we really do want to know what you think, and we'd really appreciate your input into that. So rather than me just rambling on, let's jump over to Di, who's going to talk about some of the nitty-gritty about how we're going to support you and how you can access that survey to complete it. Thank you, Di.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. So as Trevor said, the survey will start on the 6th of September. It will run for 21 days and a personal invite will be sent to all eligible participants, so that's all nurses and midwives, to complete the survey through an online link. So Trevor mentioned some targets. So to achieve the accreditation as a trust, we need 60% of those candidates to complete the survey, which works out a little over 900 members of staff. And of those who complete it, we need 50% to agree or strongly agree with the statements, the questions, and 75% need to strongly agree on 21 out of 28 question points. And those are questions about the evidence that we've submitted. So as Trevor said, there are 6 standards. So the questions will relate to those 6 standards. So you will be asked a question, does your organisation use shared decision making? And you will be prompted to respond with strongly agree, agree, disagree or strongly agree. We will be providing some support across that 21-day period to support staff to be released from their clinical areas to complete the survey. So we will be coming around with trolleys with tea, coffee, biscuits, laptops, iPads, etc., so that we can try and support you in your areas. And we totally appreciate how busy people are. So if we can support by watching your patient as you take a little time out to complete the survey, then that is what we plan to do. And we aim to cover as much of the 24-hour-a-day period as we possibly can. So you will receive a personal invitation to take part from Phil Bolton, the chief nurse, with some frequently asked questions. And those relate to, do I have to take part? No, you don't. It is entirely voluntary, but we are hoping that you will want to take part, because this is an opportunity for you to give your thoughts on how we perform as an organisation in respect of those 6 standards. And this is work that we do at the Trust. We do fantastic work across the entire organisation. The second question is it confidential? Yes, it is. Although all members will be asked to put the last 4 digits of their PIN number in and their date of birth. This is purely for quality assurance purposes. And then there will be additional questions in respect of accessing and completing and submitting the survey. We don't have any way of finding out who's completed the survey. It is entirely anonymous. We will receive weekly figures from the ANCC with percentages so that we can try and keep track to get that 60%. You may have seen some survey competition posters. So in addition to us coming around with trolleys, we are inviting you and your departments to do your own survey station. And the details of those can be found on the posters, or you can just email one of us from the Pathway team. All of our details are available via the Pathway to Excellence via the intranet. And that can be of any theme of your choice, so long as it has the requirements for someone to access and complete the survey. We have recently put out a new newsletter which gives an update as to where we stand as an organisation. So the survey is coming, and that we want to engage as many staff as possible. And there are also summary of all the evidence that we've submitted, just to give people a little bit more information. We will be producing some ward packs, and as part of that pack we will be producing some form of a glossary, because a lot of the questions are quite Americanized. It's an American credentialing programme. So we will be providing some clarity. And finally, we will be looking for some Pathway to Excellence advocates. So a little bit along the lines of what Alison mentioned from an ambassador point of view, we're using the term advocates, because long term we will be looking at sustainability of this accreditation programme, and really embedding those principles relating to the 6 pillars. Thank you.
Thank you, Di. I'll just jump in if that's okay. Just wanted to really say, you know, excellent piece of work that we've been doing across the organisation for the last couple of years. And like Trevor and Di have said, you know, this is sort of the last obstacle for our accreditation. And I just wanted to emphasise, you know, that support to be able to fill in that survey and put your points across is really, really important, because the crux of Pathway to Excellence is all around helping you to make your best contribution to the patient care and be able to devise patient care in a way that you as an individual can have input into that, but also allowing you to excel, and that we've got an environment to excel in. And that's what all our roles are. So I suppose what I'd say is that this is going to be an absolute real accolade for any member of staff that works in this organisation if we're able to achieve this. So that's what I would ask for everyone to get behind this and really, really work to try and get those surveys in place. Because one thing, it will get your voice heard as a registered professional in our organisation and what we can do to support you to do a good job. So I just wanted to add to that, because I know Trevor and Di's done a really good job at explaining what Pathway is and what we know, what the expectation is over the next coming weeks and days. But I just thought it's really important to say this is your work. This is what you've been working against and for over the last 2 years. So let's sort of make every second count now for this last hurdle. And just thank you for everything that you do on a daily basis. I just also wanted to say, obviously, from Emma's point of view, giving me a really nice welcome there back into the organisation, and I look forward to working with you all and meeting you all in the coming days and weeks, so we can have a chat about how I can help you and support you moving forward within the organisation, and to continue the excellent work that you've already done here.
Thank you so much, Trevor, Diane and Shantell. I think what I'm hearing here is this is something that colleagues have been working really hard on for the last 12, 18 months and before. You know, everything that you've been doing in your wards, in your areas, everything that you've introduced, that you've re-energised colleagues, and actually you're aiming for something that we see as a gold standard, is a real clear marker for us being a good place to work and a good place to deliver high quality safe care. And I think that's what I'm hearing, and it is certainly my understanding of the accreditation of Pathways to Excellence and all of the different pillars that are involved in that, which Trevor shared earlier. So a great opportunity for us. You know, every day we are learning. We always say that we're a learning organisation. This way we keep improving, but we keep improving to try and be the best that we can be for our people and patients. So thank you to everyone again who has been involved in this work, and hopefully you can all get involved at this point and give your feedback through the survey and help us move on each step at a time. So it goes live, I think I heard, in about 6 or 7 days. And it's open for 21 days. And I did hear tea trolley and biscuits will be coming as well. So that gives you a little bit of time and respite, and you will be supported to complete that. So please do all try your best to get involved and encourage others too as well. So we've got some great almost challenges and requests and invitations for us over September, getting your steps in, but also contributing to the Pathway to Excellence survey. So thank you so much. I've got no particular questions that have come through relating to our EDI ambassadors or Pathways to Excellence as yet. I have got one question, Shantell, that and colleagues may be able to help with, or we can at least give a fuller response to in some trust comms. So a question is, and I think this is as introducing you all, and Candice, who joins us next week, what is the difference between a head of nursing, a corporate head of nursing, and a director of nursing? Would anyone like to take that challenge on?
Yes, so I'll obviously only give you a real highlights of this, and I think one thing to say is going forward in the coming weeks you will definitely see some comms coming out with regards to roles and what they mean and who sits within those roles. So, but just very quickly then, so a head of nursing for a division, so a divisional head of nursing runs a service line, so that would be like medicine, surgery, women's and children's, and they're responsible, sitting with the triumvirate of a clinical chair and the general manager, to shaping how that service runs for our patients and keeping our patients safe within that division. Like I say, the role absolutely covers lots more than that, and we will go into more detail, but just because obviously time, I'll just skim over that. So a corporate head of nursing, similar sort of role, but it's responsible for delivering key pieces of work for the organisation. For example, Trevor is a corporate head of nursing, so he is supporting the teams in the divisions to be able to deliver Pathway for Excellence and other main really important parts of the organisational strategy, etc. So the director of nursing is a bit of an overarching role that supports all those people to do the right thing for our patients, helps them to deliver the services that we're meant to deliver, and to keep our organisation and our patients and our staff safe, and supporting obviously the chief nurse with his role also. So like I say, very, very sort of sweeping statements there about those roles, but happy to talk through them in detail if there's any specific things, if you want to have a meeting and go through stuff. But going forward, there will be more clarity on what sits in each of the roles and the expectations of those roles, so people can be really clear how we'll all work together to deliver our organisational strategy.
Thank you, Shantell. And I think that is always helpful, such as like we've got the EDI ambassador roles and giving clarity of, well, what does that mean? Yeah. What's that kind of main ask of the people in those positions, in those roles, or acting as a champion or an ambassador? So yeah, that little bit of insight I think would be helpful. But thank you for the question as well, whoever put that forward. I think it's always good to be curious and ask and get clarity in these situations. But we've had a thank you back already and said it was a very good explanation. So there you go. That's and thank you for that feedback as well. And like I said, we do welcome the questions coming through. I've not got anything else through as yet. Is there? I am going to bring Ali back in. Ali, is there anything that you would, maybe 3 things that you would like to leave colleagues with this afternoon based on EDI ambassadors? 3 things. Sorry to put you on the spot, but there you go. And Shantell, Diane and Trevor, I'm going to ask 1 from each of you just so I can warm you up before. But Ali, 3 things, and you can only have 3.
I'm probably going to struggle to give you 3, putting me on the spot. So yeah, EDI ambassadors. I think the 3 takeaway things I would like to give are change can happen if we are committed to it. So this is about making change and supporting people at work. So changes can happen if we're positive about it and we're up for the challenge. You won't be alone in the EDI ambassador role. I'll be with you every step of the way. And the 3rd thing, I think from the very beginning of me being successful in the EDI lead role 18 months ago and substantively from May, my vision has been for Sherwood to be a great place to be you, to bring your whole self to work. So it doesn't matter who you love, what your cultural heritage is, what your background is, if you have disabilities. My vision is for Sherwood to be a great place to be for everyone. And EDI ambassadors will help us to get there. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. You see, easily got 3 there, Ali. Easily. Just rolled off the tongue. So thank you very much. Diane, your 1 thing that you'd like to leave colleagues with this afternoon?
Probably that Pathway to Excellence is a chance for us to showcase what we already do at Sherwood Forest. It's a celebration of the amazing work that every single member of staff does around those 6 pillars that Trevor mentioned. Thank you,
Diane. Trevor?
I suppose just to urge people to take the opportunity to look at the screensavers that Di has done, because there are some subtle differences between Americanisms and English. And while in the UK, we might go to our wardrobe to put our clothes on, park in the car park and watch the football, in America, you'll go to the closet, you'll go watch the soccer, and you'll find a parking lot. So the screensavers that are out there are just a little helping hand to understand some of the terminology that's coming that we might not be used to. So please just take a moment to look at those. They'll be updated all the way through and during the questionnaire phase. But if you don't understand it, just ask.
Great nudge there for us all, Trevor, and it is important. Then it helps us give an accurate response. So thank you. So take a look at those. And then last but not least, I will come to Shantell.
Thank you. And I think it's linking back a little bit to what Ali was saying. It's around helping everybody to be their best selves within our organisation. And I think this will enable us to be able to demonstrate that. Along with all the excellent work that Ali's doing and other members of the team with regards to, you are valuable to us as an organisation. We want you to come to work every day feeling supported, feeling that you belong here, regardless of where you come from, what your background is. And I think that's really key. And this questionnaire will really help with that, because we will be able to see what comes out of that questionnaire, and it will also help us address if there's any issues there as well, and also celebrate all those successes that hopefully we will be able to demonstrate within that questionnaire. So really just grab it by both hands and really make an effort to be able to have your say.
Thank you very much, all of you. And one final burner question that we've just had come through: how is Pathways to Excellence going to help us realise our aspiration of being outstanding with the Care Quality Commissioning? So how is it going to help?
There's that huge hesitation of no one knows who's going to jump in. I think what's really useful is the pathways that are within Pathway to Excellence knit so closely to the CQC domains. And to be honest, with our own vision, this is really about just getting better to be the absolute best we can be. The CQC is an accreditation that's done to us. It has to happen. This is an accreditation that we've chosen to do to make us as good as we can be, which is why we're urging you to take the time and complete that survey.
Yeah, that's a wonderful framing, that, Trevor. Actually, the CQC is done to us. Pathways to Excellence, we've chosen it, we own it. So that's a really great invitation for us all, really, to make the best of this as best as we can. And any survey and feedback that we give across the organisation, we've always said for a very long time, it's important that we do keep engaged with each other. It's important that we do listen, we do understand, we do learn from it, and then we improve together. So a very simple approach, but it works for us in Sherwood. So thank you for that response and answer. So we do not have any more burning questions coming through. So I would just like to thank our guests again. So colleagues in the organisation. So thank you, Ali, for sharing more of an insight and huge invitation with regards to becoming an EDI ambassador. Thank you, Trevor, Diane and Shantell, for sharing more about insights into Pathway to Excellence, and importantly, the upcoming survey in a few days' time, and what it means for us as an organisation. And I would like to again do a big thank you to all colleagues that have been working tirelessly over the bank holiday weekend and continue this morning and today, but also over the last number of weeks and months. I know we do say that most weeks, but it is important that it is recognised, you are valued, and we do appreciate that it's challenging at the moment and that you're doing your utmost to take care of our patients and each other. So thank you so much on behalf of myself, the whole board, but also every colleague in Sherwood. And I really hope that you have a good week ahead. And you have a rest of enjoyable of your day, and thank you so much for tuning in or listening back to this week's team brief. So, and thank you once again, everyone, for joining in the conversation. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.